Naofumi isn't anyone's idea of a hero. People call him a lazy loser. He spends his days on games and his nights on novels. He's in his second year of college, but his money sense is a mess. Whatever cash he gets, he burns on gambling and useless thrills. When he goes broke, he hides in the library and reads. One day he pulls out a book, The Records of the Four Cardinal Weapons. It speaks of a world in ruin. 4 heroes must be summoned from other worlds to stop waves of monsters. Each carries a sacred weapon: shield, bow, spear, and sword. Naofumi keeps reading, and the pages begin to glow. Light spills out. A portal opens. He's pulled in. He lands in a grand hall. 3 boys stand beside him, just as confused. Robes, banners, armored guards, this is not home. Officials greet them with urgent faces. You are the 4 cardinal heroes, they announce. We summoned you through a ritual. Our world needs you. The waves are coming. Naofumi listens. The other 3 jump straight to terms. Why should they help? What's the benefit? Will they be sent home after? The staff begs them to meet the king. He'll explain. In the throne room, the king offers stiff ceremony. Introductions follow. The sword hero gives his name. The spear hero follows. The bow hero nods. Last is Naofumi, the shield hero. He begins to speak, but the king looks past him. The air turns cold. Naofumi stops, annoyed. He calls the king out for ignoring him. The other heroes hush him. He's the king. Show respect. The king waves it off and continues. He explains the waves. Rifts tear open. Monsters pour through. Each nation keeps a dragon hourglass that tracks when the next wave will strike. They fought the first one and lost many soldiers. That's why they summoned heroes. There will be rewards, the court says, and respect. For now, open your status screens. Focus on the dot in front of your eyes. Menus appear. Levels are low. They must go on adventures and train. One more rule. The ancient weapons grow best when the hero fights alone. Parties can form around them, but the 4 heroes cannot level together. Night falls. In their rooms, they argue over which game this world resembles. Each recognizes systems from his own reality. Naofumi doesn't. In his world, there was no such game. The bow hero shrugs. Maybe that's because you're the shield. The spear hero laughs. Shields are useless. The mood sours. The 3 drift off to plan without him. Naofumi lets it go. A shield protects. If they won't look at him today, they'll come running when they need a wall. Morning in the courtyard. Lines of adventurers wait to join a hero's party. Sword, spear, and bow gather followers in minutes. Naofumi turns. No one stands behind him. He asks the king what's going on. A whisper reaches the throne. The king announces a rumor. The shield hero will bring ruin. The hall stiffens. Naofumi swallows his pride and asks the others to spare a member. No one agrees. Then a young woman steps forward. She smiles at him. Sophia. She chooses the shield hero. The king doesn't look pleased, but says nothing. Funds are handed out, 600 silver each. Naofumi gets 800 since he has no party. They head to the weapon shop. Naofumi tries to pick up a sword. Pain sparks. The blade drops out of his hand. He realizes the truth. His body rejects every weapon but the shield. Panic pricks him. How will he attack? He buys armor anyway. Outside, they train on small balloon monsters. He punches them down with bare fists. At night, he feeds their remains into the shield's core. New nodes unlock. Maybe upgrades are possible. Sophia suggests selling monster parts. That'll bring in copper. Then she presses for gear. Expensive gear. 400 silver vanish on equipment. Naofumi hesitates, but she insists they'll earn it back tomorrow. He gives in. Later, they share a quiet dinner and discuss plans. He thanks her for joining him. Back in his room, he counts his money. 200 silver left. He hides a few coins behind the shield and falls asleep. He wakes to a nightmare. Clothes, gear, money gone. Sophia's room is empty. Guards pound on his door. The king wants you. They drag him before the court. Sophia stands there, trembling, and tells a story. She says he entered her room drunk at midnight and tried to force himself on her. The spear hero explodes with rage. Naofumi can't breathe. He says he went straight to bed. He didn't drink. He spots his own armor on the spear hero and calls it out. The reply is cold. Sophia gifted it. A knight presents a cloth as evidence. The crowd turns. The king keeps his voice calm but sharp. If you weren't a hero, we'd execute you. But we need you until the waves end. Shame will walk ahead of you wherever you go. Naofumi's chest burns. He tosses his hidden coins at their feet. That's what you wanted, right? Then he walks out. On the streets, people stare at him with disgust. One shopkeeper stops him. The man almost punches him, then exhales and hands him a set of clothes. Call it a parting gift. Naofumi promises to repay him. Now he fights alone. He farms balloon monsters. He barters for crumbs. He experiments with herbs and unlocks leaf shield plants he touches grow stronger. He sells better herbs for better prices. He survives. Thugs approach and offer to join. They soon reveal their plan to rob him. He holds his ground behind the shield and drives them off. He needs allies, yes, but not snakes. A broker finds him. A striped tent, cages, slaves. If you want cheap and loyal, the man says, take a demi-human, not the best in fights, but obedient. Naofumi thinks, he'll train one. In a dark corner, he hears a small cough. A frightened demi-human girl curls up in the straw. The broker says her first owner tortured her. She's sick. She could die any day. Naofumi decides, her. A blood seal burns a magic crest into her chest. It hurts. He hates that it hurts, but he needs a partner to attack while he defends. Her name appears on his status screen, Raphtalia. He buys her clothes and a short sword. Their first lesson is on a balloon monster. She freezes. The curse bites when she resists. Tears well up. Naofumi keeps his voice firm. If you refuse, the pain is worse. She swings once. The monster pops. She gains 15 experience. Naofumi gets 12 party share. The shopkeeper explains it. Naofumi sets the rule. From now on, I block, you strike. Money runs thin. He makes medicine for her illness. He buys her the cheap children's meal because the tavern won't serve demi-humans. She lights up at the toy flag. At night she screams from nightmares, memories of the first wave of parents pushing her off a cliff to save her of the monster that ate them. Naofumi sits with her until she sleeps. Days pass. They train. They talk a little. One morning she watches kids play with a ball. She looks away, tail twitching. He pretends not to notice, then quietly buys the same ball and hands it to her. She smiles for real this time. They need levels. In a deserted mine near Loot Village, Naofumi unlocks Rope Shield and a new skill that even startles him. Inside, Raphtalia tracks something big. A two-headed beast lumbers out of the dark. Her breath stalls. It's the shape from her nightmares. The monster charges. Naofumi absorbs the first hit and takes the second on his shoulder. He shouts for a strike. She can't move. He tells her the blunt truth, do nothing, and we both die. She shakes, then gathers herself and attacks. The beast flings her aside. Naofumi buys her a second window with his shield. She takes it. The blade sinks deep. The monster falls. Experience pours in. Raphtalia hits level 5. She cries into his chest. He lets her stay like that a moment longer. A week changes everything. Demi-humans grow fast. Raphtalia now looks older, stronger, steady hands, bright eyes. In the weapon shop, even the smith stares, from a timid mouse to a swordswoman. She presses to buy armor for Naofumi. Protect yourself, or you'll die. He yields. The smith crafts a rugged set he calls Barbarino. Naofumi jokes he looks like a bandit. Raphtalia says he looks perfect. Then the warning. The wave hits today. The army moves. Someone finally tells Naofumi about the dragon hourglass in the church. It shows the countdown and teleports heroes to the strike zone. He goes there and sees the seconds tick down. The other heroes arrive. The spear hero flirts with Raphtalia. Sophia seethes. Raphtalia answers once, "I am Master Naofumi's sword." The spear hero mutters rumors. Naofumi swallows his rage. "Let's go." The sky turns red. Portals bloom. Monsters pour out. The heroes are pulled to the battlefield. Naofumi spots a flare near Loot Village. Evacuation may be incomplete. He changes course. People matter first. The village is chaos. Naofumi becomes a wall. Raphtalia becomes a blade. He draws aggro with the bell at the tower. Oil, fire, a leap to the ground. Villagers run. A hulking beast blocks the path. He holds the hit. She finishes it. Fireballs rain from the sky. A royal knight laughs. One volley and done. Naofumi sees the truth, no thought for civilians. Raphtalia snaps and rushes him. Another knight blocks. Naofumi pulls her back. Not now. More monsters threaten the squad from behind. A knight is about to die. Naofumi shields him and saves his life. Last chance. Take positions. Some knights flee. A few stay. We'll fight with the shield hero. The wave fades. The portals close. The palace throws a party. The king praises the three heroes to the ceiling. Naofumi sits in a corner. He came only to collect his reward. Across the room, the spear hero spots Raphtalia again. Sophia whispers in his ear. Raphtalia brings Naofumi a slice of cake and feeds him, smiling. The spear hero loses his cool and challenges Naofumi to a duel. "Free that girl. Slavery is shameful." Naofumi answers with the law slavery is legal here. The spear hero says if he wins, Raphtalia walks free. If he loses, nothing changes. Naofumi refuses to play, but guards block his path. The king orders him to accept. Raphtalia is seized. Naofumi's eyes go hard. "Fine, I'll fight, and I'll win." They face off in the arena. The crowd roars for the spear. No one cheers the shield. The first clash rings out. Naofumi blocks the opening thrust. The spear hero grows angry and attacks faster. Cuts bloom on Naofumi's arms. Raphtalia grits her teeth, hands bound. Naofumi triggers two-headed shield, blunts the combo, and counters with a skill. The spear hero flinches. Balloons burst onto him as Naofumi traps them with the shield and hurls them forward. The arena gasps. Naofumi steps in close and asks if he surrenders. The spear hero spits back no. Naofumi smirks and unleashes more balloons. Panic spreads on the spear's face. Then an unseen strike hits Naofumi from the side. Sophia interferes. The spear hero grabs the chance and calls down a thunder skill. Naofumi drops to a knee. The crowd erupts. The king rises to declare the winner. But Naofumi, bruised but not broken, confronts Motoyasu, shouting, "That was supposed to be a fair one-on-one. You cheated." Motoyasu smirks, brushing it off. "Oh, so now you're making excuses because you lost." Naofumi turns to the crowd, desperate. "All of you saw it. It wasn't just me, his partner interfered. Sophia used magic on me." But no one speaks up. No one moves. Silence. It hits Naofumi hard, they're all against him. The king quickly ends the matter, announcing Motoyasu the official victor. He even praises him for protecting his daughter, which makes Naofumi suddenly freeze. Wait, his daughter? That's when it clicks. The entire setup, the duel, the false accusations, Sophia joining his party, everything was planned. They wanted to destroy his reputation from the start. The curse within anger starts brewing inside Naofumi. The shield on his arm begins to glow an eerie, dark red. It's reacting, feeding off his rage. The whispers from the crowd get louder and darker. "We should never have summoned the shield hero. He deserves to be executed." Naofumi snaps. "Enough with the shield. I never asked for this." He tries to rip it off, and the guards drag over Raphtalia only. She looks like a young girl again. They remove her curse mark and drag her away. She glances back, whispering a sad goodbye. But Neofumi blinks and she's still right there. It was all in his head. The shield's curse was playing tricks on him. He throws the shield to the ground, but it boomerangs right back to his arm. He's trapped with it. Raphtalia speaks up just when things seem unbearable. Raphtalia finally steps in, and she's furious, slapping Motoyasu right in front of everyone. "You call this victory? You cheated. All of you did," Sophia interrupts her, smugly. "Don't forget who set you free, little girl." Raphtalia fires back. "I never asked for your help. I chose to stay with Neofumi. He never forced me. He protected me." The crowd is stunned. Even the other heroes are confused. Suddenly, Neofumi's outburst makes sense, and while everyone's arguing, that curse on his shield grows stronger. His hatred is turning it into a weapon of absolute destruction. Neofumi's about to lose control when Raphtalia grabs him. A turning point. "Stop," she cries. "Don't do this. You saved my life. You cared for me when no one else would." Neofumi hesitates. Raphtalia hugs him, holding on tight. "You're the kindest person I know, and even if the world turns against you, I won't." Slowly, the curse fades. The smoke lifts. At this moment, Neofumi finally breaks. Tears flow and he falls asleep in her arms. The next morning, they're sitting together on the castle roof, enjoying the sunrise. Neofumi's eating a sandwich, and for the first time in a long while, he can taste it. The curse had dulled his senses, but now, he can savor food again. Raphtalia teases him. "See? We'll eat even better food from now on." And for the first time since being summoned to this world, Neofumi smiles. Flash to the palace. Meanwhile, in the palace, the other heroes are being rewarded for their bravery in the last wave. Motoyasu, Ren, Itsuki, they each receive thousands in silver coins. Neofumi, he gets 500. And then the king declares even that will be reduced, because he freed Raphtalia from her slave mark. The others protest, saying Neofumi was actually the victim in the duel, but the king ignores them. Neofumi doesn't even bother arguing. Raphtalia bows and thanks them, then leaves with Neofumi. Later, when they're alone, Raphtalia does something shocking. Though Neofumi told her she was free, she chooses to put the slave crest back on, not because she's bound, but as a sign of trust. She believes in him. Neofumi tries to brush it off, but seeing her faith in him awakens something deeper. The will to keep going. And so, with his reward money and a new goal, Neofumi heads out shopping for supplies. A slave merchant introduces him to a bunch of monster eggs. With a bit of luck, one might hatch a dragon. Neofumi picks one up, just 100 silver coins. An unexpected friend days later crack. The egg hatches. Out comes a fluffy baby bird, a philolial. They name her Philo. But this isn't a normal philolial. With Neofumi's growth boosts, she evolves fast. Within 2 days. She's already a full-grown bird capable of pulling a cart. After a long day of traveling, Neofumi and his team set up camp by the road. They just wanted a quiet night so Raphtalia could recover properly. The fire crackled, the air was calm, and soon all three drifted into sleep. But when morning came, something strange happened. Neofumi blinked his eyes open only to find a small girl sleeping peacefully in his lap. The problem? Philo, his bird companion, was nowhere to be seen. Confused, Neofumi stared at the child until she opened her eyes, smiled, and said, "Master, I'm hungry." That's when it hit him, this little girl was Philo. Shocked and still trying to process it, Neofumi took her straight to the weapon shop. The shopkeeper, munching on his sandwich, watched in disbelief as Philo sniffed the food and said she wanted a bite. The man laughed and offered her a piece, but before he could blink, Philo transformed back into her giant bird form and swallowed the entire sandwich whole. The man just froze. Neofumi sighed. Welcome to his life. Later, the slave merchant explained that philolials like Philo usually have a king or queen, a special one capable of transforming into a human. But to fully tame such a creature, Naofumi had to place a magical crest on her. The process hurt Philo, yet she endured it quietly, trusting him completely. The shopkeeper then handed them some leftover clothes and directed them to a tailor who could make her proper transforming garments. The tailor agreed to help but needed enchanted thread, something only a magic shop could supply. Unfortunately, the shop owner was out of magic gems to produce it and warned it might take a whole month before restocking. While testing Philo's abilities, they discovered her magical affinity was for wind and she was a natural at it. From then on, the trio began trading goods from town to town, earning coins by selling potions and transporting people in their carriage. Philo, in her bird form, became their trusted ride. One day, during a trip, they came across a desperate man rushing down the road. His mother was dying, and he needed to deliver medicine before it was too late. Seeing his panic, Naofumi offered to help for a small fee, of course. Riding Philo, they reached the village in record time. Naofumi used his healing magic to amplify the medicine's effect, and within moments, the man's mother opened her eyes, healthy again. The man, tearful and grateful, offered them food as thanks. After that, their reputation started spreading fast. People began calling Naofumi the traveling healing saint. They sold medicines, transported merchants, and even fought off bandits along the way. One afternoon, while escorting a merchant, their path was blocked by a group of thugs demanding money and worse, threatening to take Raphtalia. Big mistake. Before they could blink, Raphtalia vanished into thin air, using her stealth skill, while Philo summoned a fierce gust of wind. Together, they crushed the entire group effortlessly. When Naofumi interrogated them, the bandits revealed someone had tipped them off another merchant who betrayed their route. Naofumi made it clear, confess your crimes or face death. When they hesitated, he looked at Philo and calmly said, "Eat them." That was enough. Terrified, they begged for mercy and confessed everything. Naofumi tracked down their hideout, confiscated every stolen item, and even charged the merchant extra for the trouble. The merchant, rather than being angry, was impressed. He introduced Naofumi to other traders, taught him about crafting, magic crystals, and even rare gemstones. He also shared rumors about the other heroes, the spear hero who supposedly saved a starving village by planting a legendary seed, the sword hero slaying monsters and even a dragon, and the bow hero, whose whereabouts were unknown. Before parting, the merchant handed Naofumi a letter of recommendation, a pass that granted him access to a gem mine, exactly what he needed for Philo's magic clothing thread. Together with the magic shop owner, they explored the cave. Inside, they found an empty treasure chest with a warning written nearby, "Do not open or remove anything." Ignoring the eerie feeling, they moved deeper inside, where strange whispers filled the air. Suddenly, Raphtalia's voice echoed, but it wasn't her. The voice accused Naofumi, saying she hated being his slave and wanted freedom. Philo's voice followed, claiming she despised traveling with him. Naofumi froze until the magic shop owner shouted, "It's an illusion. The monsters are trying to divide us." With that, the spell broke. Philo unleashed her wind magic, blowing away the spirits, and they pushed forward. We'll find out in the upcoming episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more such recaps. See you soon in the next mystery.